The most obvious case of a person having a superiority complex is Andrew Tate. I'm gonna assume you heard of him, you heard of the Red Pill Bros, the podcast, blah blah blah, and how a lot of them are getting exposed for exploiting lonely men on the internet to fuel their luxurious lifestyle.
But the two brothers have made almost all their money from something else. According to Tate, the way they got rich was webcams. Taking advantage of lonely men, they bragged about it.
And me and my brother, and eventually some staff I trained, would do all the talking. The girls were just famousers. We were taking their money, all of it.
It's a lot easier to monetize and take advantage of anger, sadness, unfulfilledness, jealousy, uncivilized and a bit ignorant people. Harder to take advantage of people who are happy, well-traveled individuals who ingratiate themselves into unknown culture with an open mind to expand their worldview and point of view, have a set of loving family and friends that they can rely on to offer advice, constructive criticism, and comfort them when they're down or lonely. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the superiority complex in the fashion scene. I will provide some scientific or psychological facts, but we will also blend up with my opinion and my experience. I don't particularly have a main talking point. Hopefully by the end of the video, I would have come up with a point. We'll see. Think of me as a comedian fleshing out a joke on the local scene, prepping for his world tour, but I don't have a world tour coming up. I simply engaged the poor bastard that happened to come across this video and feel like they wasted their time when this video is over. By the way, the little anecdote I'm about to write, I wrote it before I looked up the official definition of superiority complex. I know the concept of the word, but not the word-for-word definition and what scientists and psychologists say about superiority complex. I want to keep my story with SC as pure as possible, so I don't try to lessen the story to make myself look good. I don't want to future-proof who I was. We're just gonna call it SC, by the way. I'm too lazy to say superiority complex all the time. When I was younger, I had this urge to be cool, to be above everyone, to want to know more than most, to want other people to know that I know more than most, have more than them, to want people to know that I have more than them, to be better than them. I had an unhealthy amount of superiority complex. By the way, I believe it's a spectrum. It's not a yes or no. Think happiness or sadness. We all experience at different degrees of those emotions. I used to love wearing clothes with logo and high-priced items to prove to people that I'm rich, to prove to people that I am better than them. I bought these Gucci fur loafers and I would wear them all the time. Now here's the punchline. They're not comfortable on me. I have flat feet. These loafers do not offer a lot of support, so I would wear through the pain to show off the Gucci logo while I was in college. I would wear the usual stuff, Supreme, Babe, loud pieces that scream price tags. While I was wearing those loud and expensive pieces, my mindset or brain function would change drastically. I would feel that I am superior to everyone. I would feel as though a lot of these classmates of mine were inferior to me. They dress worse than me, they have less than me. I would talk down to my friends. I would feel the need to let people know that I am better and that I know everything that they know and more. Looking back at that old Makasy, I feel a bit cringe, a bit embarrassed. Beneath all of that feeling of being superior to everyone, there was a kid who was afraid that people would think less of him. People would think he doesn't belong at the same table as them. Constantly playing with the Gucci loafer, constantly fixing the Supreme jacket, constantly posting about it on Instagram, bringing attention to him because he was scared people wouldn't know that he's wearing a really expensive pair of loafers. At the time, I was a hypebeast again, Palace, Supreme, Gucci, LV, the usual suspects, and I would feel superior to people wearing Zara, Forever 21, Shein, Boohoo Man, mall brand stuff. I would talk down to all of these people and think I'm better than them. I probably said something along the line of, these people that wear these brands, they should come to me and ask for advice. Dude, add that line to the ick list. I hope these examples are enough to show you that I was deep in the SC for a short while. I'll talk more about how I am now and how I rid myself of most of these superior complex after we define what it is, because again, I believe it's a spectrum. I still have it from time to time, but I've been able to keep it at a healthy amount. All of the links will be in the description below. So the actual definition of superiority complex is a belief that your abilities or accomplishment are somehow dramatically better than others people. People with a superiority complex may be condescending, smug, or mean to other people who don't agree with them. If you look up the definition on Google, you see a few variations of this definition, but the essence is more or less the same as the one I provided. So get past it if you are one of those.
Actually, it really does fit that old stereotype of the smug gang.
The term was first coined by Alfred Adler in his theory of individual psychology. Signs of superiority complex include boastful claim that they cannot support, an overly high opinion on themselves, vanity or extra attention to their appearances, high valuation of their self-worth, an unwillingness to listen to others, a self-image of authority or supremacy, mood swings, which may worsen as a result of contradiction from others, overcompensation, a constant need for validation, dismissive attitude towards others, an inflated sense of self-importance, a penchant for bragging. A fact I should state though, SC is not a diagnosable condition according to DSM-5-TR. Mental health professionals use that book to properly charge their patient. Everything is about money. Okay, anyway, so DSM-5-TR also believe that it's not solely from the effect of inferiority complex. A second cause could stem from exaggerated emotional state. According to the theory of individual psychology by Adler, everyone is trying to overcome a sense of inferiority. Other psychologists have since come and argue that some people with superiority complex may not be consciously hiding low self-esteem. These people truly believe that they are more successful, better than others, despite the lack of evidence. According to the article that is medically reviewed by Smitha Bharati, MD, that was written by WebMD editorial contributors, SC has a lot of impact on our mental health. Firstly, effective SC caused by low self-esteem. If you got low self-esteem and try to hide it by exaggerating your successes, it may actually make your self-esteem worse. Study shows that if you brag about your skills but others learn that you exaggerate it, they will think less of you. In a fashion term, if you brag about being friends with Rick, Raph, Margiela, and Kara, but in actuality you went to one of their book signing events or shows and have a small talk for a minute or less, your friends will think less of you when they find out the truth. You're not actually friends with them, you just went to a book signing and, 1-minute conversation. It's not friendship. Another thing is effect of SC caused by high self-esteem. If you have an unrealistically high sense of self-esteem that's causing your SC, it can still affect your mental health. SC will likely make you feel overconfident in your abilities. You might not work hard enough to achieve your goals, and failure may make you feel really, really bad. This can also push people away from you because you're not pleasant to be around. The article also provided us with how to prevent SC from affecting our mental health. First, make a list of actual accomplishments without exaggeration. Second, avoid all or nothing thinking. Third, notice how you feel about others people's compliment. Try to feel happy for them without comparing their lives to ours. Try not to feel jealous. Fourth, forgive yourself for mistake without beating yourself up with negative thoughts. Okay, now that we got all of that out of the way, let's talk superiority complex in fashion. We're gonna start with this photo, men's fashion health, first 7 circle. I actually don't know who created it. If you do, please tag them a comment. I want to properly, credit them. It's a bit outdated though. Barney's no longer exists, for example, but more or less it's still relevant. I want to point out this detail though, often goes forgotten for some reason. Special note, just because you are going further down the depth of hell does not mean you are doing better. I've had a few runs in with the CCP crowd, and a lot of these people are very proud that CCP is at the end of the list despite the note written by the maker of this image. Okay, so I have a theory or example, not original or anything. I call it the ladder effect. These people make fun of these people, and so on and so on. If the people who is climbing this ladder forget to be mindful and actively suppress their SC, they could become worse version of themselves. I was deep in the SCBS. When I was in the Babe and Supreme era, I would make fun of people below me on the ladder. Each group make fun of the people below them. As we get to Ruffy here though, some people on the ladder make fun of people above them. I am a big fan of Rick Owens. I used to belong to a few Facebook groups and read a few Reddit posts here and there, see a few Rick Owens fans on Instagram, blah 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 blah. And there are some people in the Rick community who actively make fun of people who aren't into Rick Owens. A few of these Rick Owens make fun of Raph, Margiela, the Hypebeast, Sneakerhead, and whatnot. If someone say they don't get the hype of Rick, these individuals will say, oh, it's because you don't understand them or you're not evolved enough to see the vision. The usual comment, I'm sure you're familiar with them. It's also within the Rick community. I've seen people with Kiss boots making fun of people with GeoBasket or Ramones. Oh my god, you got the starter pack Rick, what a loser. Dude, they're into the same brand as you. Be more positive and inviting. They will work themselves up to the Kiss boot. And if they're not, they're still into Rick. It's like making fun of your little brother for coming out of your mother after you. Same hole, dude. Relax. We obviously have the stealth well people that wear Hermes, Laurel Penis, the Row, Old Celine, Max Mara, and whatnot, judging people shopping at fast fashion. These people believe that they're better because they wear brands that are expensive and doesn't have any logo or branding on their garment. They believe they are superior to those who wear brands such as Balenciaga, Supreme, Babe, any brand that utilizes logo, patches, slogan to get their message across. I don't know if I'm up for it to search through TikTok and Reel to find these judgy, stealth well people thinking they're better than everyone, but if I don't, I hope you've come across those TikTok before. Real stealth well people don't brag or tag Bruno, Laurel, Hermes, Dero, or old Celine on their Instagram. It's the people that cosplay as old money rich that do this. A little dirty secret that these people don't want to tell you. They save up their money, buy one expensive bag such as an Hermes, a Chanel, an LV, a Goyard, and they then buy clothes from Zara, Forever 21, and other cheap brand that doesn't come with logos that they can tag Hermes, Margiela, Dero, and whatnot. And no one will be able to spot the difference because it's simply a white t-shirt or a white button-up. They are counting on the people seeing their well-established, well-recognized bag and their sunglasses with the Prada logo and the Hermes H logos line, which is not expensive by the way, but I know that's a privilege of mine to see that price and think it's cheap. Anyway, of course, this is a lot of generalization and I'm counting on you guys to see the same Reels, TikTok, and YouTube videos I do, even though our algorithm is different. We of course have the sneakerhead that wear hype shoes or expensive shoes, judging people wearing Crocs, Burke, or any cheap shoes that are not Adidas, Nike, LV, or Gucci. These people think they're superior because their shoes are harder to obtain, cost more. By the way, only on the secondary market because artificial scarcity. Artificial scarcity. The retail price is probably only $100. Check the Travis Scott collab, whatever, all that hype stuff, hard to obtain stuff. I remember and know this one because I was that person too when I was a Hypebeast. I would judge people wearing brands such as Reebok, Skechers, and unhyped sneakers, the general releases sneakers. I would make fun of people that wear Jordans that were not numbered. The superiority complex of someone wearing a Supreme jacket is incalculable. Though I heard recently that Supreme isn't as hype anymore, I'm a bit out of the loop with regard to the Hypebeast. We can of course talk about the money aspect. Some of these people develop a higher form of SE through the prices of their items. Your outfit only costs 2K, mine costs 10K, I am better than you. The deeper you are in the hell meme, the more you're spending on your garment. A pair of boots from CCP can cost 2K. We can also talk about tribalism and how one can spend too much time with like-minded individuals that can reinforce their SE. I made a video about it, quite good if you ask me, give it a watch. The point of all of these examples to show you how SE can affect you personally, how it affects how you treat people, affect or dilute your worldview into a hyper-inflated view in which everything is exaggerated and that you view everyone who isn't into the same thing as you below you. Okay, so how did I lower my SE? First, I unfollow a lot of accounts who are negative, accounts that post about how one group is better than another, making fun of people who are not into what they're into. I unfollow brands or specific style-oriented accounts. Living in a bubble can narrow down your worldview. The other way is, of course, to follow more accounts that post about brands or style that don't look like your own. This way, your brain will see more looks that are on your own, but the downside of that is if your SE is high enough on the spectrum and you start to comment negative thing, it will reinforce your SE and push it further up the spectrum. Choose one method that you believe will lower your SE. I do wholeheartedly believe that your superiority complex, it should not be too high. You need a little bit of it to function as a confident human being. However, when it gets out of hand, when it's not balanced, you are not a pleasant individual to be around. I look at myself and I didn't like who I became, so I actively suppressed the negative voices or the SE within me. When I see people who are wearing Forever 21 and my brain was wandering toward the, oh my god, these people think they dress good but wear Forever 21, I would stop myself from going there. Slowly, I would steer my brain toward, you know what? Forever 21 might fit their budget. They might like it. If they think they dress well, let them live. Who am I to judge these strangers? Just because I wear something more expensive doesn't mean I'm better than them. Just because I'm wearing something who are more, well received by the critics, by the general public, doesn't mean I'm better than them. It took me a long time to rewire my brain to be more positive. I learned to care less of what people think of me. Before, I would think I'm the center of the universe. If I'm on a bus, I think everyone on the bus is thinking about me, seeing my amazing outfit, blah, 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 feeling jealous of me, hoping they see that I'm superior to them. These people, they do not care about me. These people on the bus, they don't think about me more than 5 seconds that it took for them to scan the bus. The whole earth thought the sun and the moon revolved around us, and it's built into our species, this belief that we are the most important person on earth. When I got my brain to believe that no one really cares, it makes it easier for me to be myself at all times. I bob my head and do my little stupid dance when I'm walking in public, listening to my music, because I know most people are not looking at me. We've all seen those stiff individuals who try their best to look cool and be sophisticated at all times because they think everyone is looking at them and judging them. Another aspect that improved tremendously for me is filming myself in public. I struggled immensely in the beginning because it's not easy to set up a camera in a crowded place and film yourself by yourself. It's a bit more accepted to see someone film their friends, but doing it alone, it's different. It's a whole different ball game. With another person, you can rely on them to laugh off the awkwardness and whatnot. I started by filming an empty park because I was too concerned about what people would think of me. What if they judge me? What if they give me a look? In reality, most people do not care. They will walk around your shot if they can. They got their own problems and blisses to think about. Now look at the places I'm filming now. That is growth, gentlemen, and it took a lot of mental exercises to get to where I am. Apply this logic to social media as well because it's not as dire, but still hundreds of eyes watch us. If your SE is high enough, it will stop you from posting about your interests, your selfies, and what you find fun and funny because your SE stem from high or low self-esteem. This video, by the way, isn't to persuade anyone to get off their unhealthy amount of SE. They probably think I'm too inferior to even talk to them. I thought it was an interesting topic. Maybe to individuals who have a healthy amount of SE can watch this, have a conversation with themselves and see where they could improve to lower their SE so their mental health could be a bit healthier. That little problem can form a larger snowball and lead you to faking an entire life that you don't live. Oh, I didn't fail the test. I actually got a 95 even though you got a 50 because you're too embarrassed to tell the truth, so you exaggerate what you got. Oh, you got into a nice local college? I got into Harvard, leading you to fake a degree, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I present myself as someone who constantly travel on Instagram and I love getting compliments how great my life look and how they wish to be me. Oh shit, I no longer have money. But if I admit to my audience that I no longer have money to live this lavish life, would they think less of me? Would they stop complimenting me? Would they unfollow me? Will I get mean comment now? I gotta borrow some loans to continue this lifestyle I can no longer afford. Some of these, or all of these examples are not exaggerated, by the way. High SC can be really dangerous. That's it. That's the end of this video. It didn't really have a beginning or an end, a bit erratic in a way. I hope you find it entertaining enough for your meal or poop or both. However, if you find this video infuriating, I got some bad news for you, my friend. Or is me calling you my friends make you feel as though we are equal and you think you're superior to me?